She was 15 years old and pregnant, a middle school student, an indigenous girl from Ecuador of the Quechua people or Quechua people. Many years back, I was listed on a website, a directory where people could find me and hire me for services of birth worker, aka a doula, to support a mama when she's giving birth, whether at home or in a hospital. And in this instance, a middle school teacher called me and told me that one of her students needed assistance because she was new to the country, barely spoke the language, and needed some kind of support, perinatal labor support, as she was about to give birth in a few weeks in a hospital. The moment I received that email, I jumped on a phone call with that teacher, and I wanted to learn more about what this young mother needed from me in order to feel supported through this wild experience that she was going through. This was in New York. This teacher told me that her and her mom were living in a shelter with 6 other siblings. They had been only living in the U.S. for about a year or two. And all of a sudden, this 15-year-old girl, her student, ends up pregnant. They don't really have too much information about who, what, when, where, why, but she was about to give birth in a few weeks, and she found me on a website and wanted me to support her. So the day came. I got the call at 8 o'clock in the morning around it, and I showed up to the hospital, and there I was with this 15-year-old girl who barely spoke English, barely even spoke Spanish, because she really spoke her native tongue. And her mother was overwhelmed, concerned, and just scared for her life, scared about being deported, scared about being separated from her children. And there I was as a birth worker, asking all the questions to the medical providers, doing my best to translate to the best of my ability, because I speak Spanish, but when we're dealing with indigenous people, oftentimes we have our own dialect. Not everybody speaks the same language, but the language we did speak that was similar was compassion, understanding, and patience. And that young 15-year-old girl felt so relieved to have somebody pay attention to her needs and hold space for her fears and her concerns. As much as she was experiencing something so overwhelming, she was concerned about her baby. She was concerned about being separated from her baby, or her baby being taken away after she gave birth. And I was able to assure her that in the hospital, they had a policy that they would keep her close to her baby to breastfeed. I was able to ensure her mother would be the primary caregiver for that child, which meant that the baby would stay with the original mother, the 15-year-old, within the family. This is what us birth workers do. We advocate, we educate, we hold space, and we ensure that a mother feels safe while she's going through an experience that is like life and death. And we ensure that she taps into her utmost powerful version of herself so that she doesn't let her fears overcome the reality that she is creating in that moment. No matter where you are, how you're giving birth, who is there, could determine whether you have a positive experience or a very traumatic experience. And trauma sometimes is inevitable, but having the right support system will help you feel seen, heard, supported, and empowered. So if you ever thought about becoming a birth worker or serving mothers and families during their pregnancy and laboring or breastfeeding experiences, check out my website to learn more about my work and my 8-week intuitive birth worker training.